When we think of countries with the most gender equality, generally our mind goes straight to Nordic countries like Iceland or Norway, but there's also one African country that's right up there. Rwanda has more women in power proportionally than any other country. In their parliament, for example, women hold more than half the seats, or 61.25%, way above the global average of 26.4%. Women in Rwanda also continuously break gender stereotypes and take on roles like carpentry or truck driving without a second thought. And in the Global Gender Gap Index, Rwanda ranks 6th. By comparison, the US is at 27. Rwanda has become a beacon for gender equality, consistently ranking in the top 10 countries and being the only African nation to do so. But how did it get there? Well, the history behind it all is a bit more bleak. Following the Rwandan genocide of 1994, the country's society was left in chaos. The majority of the men were either fugitives, prisoners, or dead, and that meant that the majority of Rwanda's surviving population were women, 60 to 70% in fact. Most of them hadn't been educated or taken a job outside of the home, but it was all about to change. Tragedy and necessity compelled them to step in and do the work. Just like World War II had opened the workplace to American women, the same happened to Rwandan women, except their opportunities weren't short-lived. The government decided that Rwanda was too broken to be rebuilt on men's labor alone, and so passed a new constitution in 2003 that decreed that 30% of parliamentary seats be reserved for women. It also enacted certain reforms like overturning old traditions that disenfranchised women, giving women the ability to open bank accounts without their husband's permission, and pledged to prioritize girls' education. Where once the list of things women couldn't do was very long, now women were empowered to contribute and join the workforce. Thus, in the 2003 election, 48 parliamentary seats went to women, and in the next election, 65%. The country truly went beyond the mandatory minimum and has now become a model of gender inclusiveness. But that's not to say that everything's perfect. Rwandan female politicians are still not seen as equals in some cases, and many women face backlash for choosing work over family. The perception of women's roles in society still needs to evolve, and there's still much more to be done in terms of violence against women. Regardless, Rwanda has come a long way, and the presence of so many women in public life has given them a more powerful voice within their communities. Rwandan women are still stepping up and doing what they can to transform their society into one free of gender imbalances. So, although there is still more that needs to be done, I really think that the world could learn a thing or two about what Rwanda has and continues to achieve.